salesperson, what's something that you live through that non-salespeople don't understand, and why is it important? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California, on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about rejection. Now, here's the thing. Most people in their lives, they do not ever have to really face rejection in the way that you and I have to as a salesperson, or you and I have to as a consultant. So here's what happens. The average person in their life gets rejected when they break up with somebody or somebody breaks up with them. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. And so as a salesperson, let's say that you go on 3 sales calls a day and you work 5 days a week and you're a 50% closer. So let's do some quick math. 15, and there's 4 weeks a month. 15 times 4 is 60. That means you close 30 deals. Fantastic. 50% closer. Yay you. The other 50%, the other 30 times, there's like a stab in the gut. Like, why didn't I close that deal? Like, closers care. Closers care why they didn't get the deal. Closers are like, hey, I didn't get the deal. Here's what I'm going to do about it. Performers go, I didn't get the deal. Here's what I'm going to do about it. And I'm going to get some coaching, just so you know, right? That's the real deal. But people who aren't in sales, they don't get rejection at the level that you do. And this is why, like, as a salesperson, one of the coolest traits that you can learn is how to be rejected and be okay with it. Because most people can't. This is one of the reasons why most salespeople, real deal, get out of the world of sales. It's not because they can't make the money. It's because they can't get past the rejection they just faced and then go into the next call and try to make that next call happen and close that deal. They just can't get past the rejection. And if you got somebody who's sitting in an office and what they do all day is paperwork and answer phones, I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that one bit. But they get paid the same amount whether you close a deal or you don't. And they get paid the same amount whether you have rejection or you don't. They just don't understand it. And they think it's their job to make your life a living hell. They think it's their job to be like, hey, by the way, you didn't check this one box in your paperwork, I'm going to ding your commission. Right? So they don't know what it's like to be rejected. They don't know what it's like to add that added stress to the sales call. And so real deal, they don't get it. So sometimes salespeople end up in a bad mood. And if you are in a relationship with somebody who's never been in sales, like, they don't understand your rejection. You're like, oh my goodness, honey, today was a tough day. And they kind of pat you on the back. Everything will be okay tomorrow. Like, you really have to get this stuff off your chest. It's one of the reasons why there's some closers that call me after every one of their sales calls. There's performers out there that call me after every one of their sales calls because sometimes you just need that helpful voice on the other end of the phone going, hey, look, man, you did everything you could. We talked through it. We did some coaching. Everything's going to be okay. You'll get the next one. Or especially like if you're down 2 or 3 calls, 4 or 5, 6, 7, and you're like, oh my goodness, things are not going well. Absolutely get on the phone with a coach or a mentor and get out of that rejection because they understand it. A coach or a mentor is like, hey, I've heard this before, I've seen this before, I've been there before, you are going to be okay. Everything's going to work out, right? But like most people, it's just not there. If you're not in sales and you're watching this, like, you can't have empathy for it because you'd be like, well, I've been broken up with like 4 or 5 times in my life. Yeah, imagine getting broken up with 7 times a week, okay? It's just one of those things. And when there's bragging rights, like, there's ego on the line, and there's bragging rights, and there's income, it multiplies that feeling exponentially. And especially when people are like, hey, I got to eat too, you got to keep me busy, that rejection goes 1 step higher, and then 1 step higher after that. It puts a lot of stress on salespeople. So rejection is one of those things that most people who are not in sales will not ever get unless they have some really bad rejection in their life, okay? So you got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button, click on it every time I send out a video. That's me, Scott Bell Consultant. You'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out. Wish you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.